Hey guys, how's it going? In this video, I'm going to show you how I DIY'd my CarPlay and reverse camera. First thing is, if you can pay someone to do this, please do it because it does take a lot of time and you'll run into a lot of problems. But number one tip is to definitely disconnect your battery before you start pulling anything out. So disconnect the negative terminal on your battery, your car battery, like I've done over there. I've just taken this guy out of that. Once you've done that, you need to then pull out your old stereo. One thing to note is that in the old stereo, some of the Hondas require a password once it completely goes out of power. So if you don't know that password or you don't know what I'm talking about, please look into it before you disconnect your radio or even disconnect your battery, because if you decide to put that old stereo back and you don't have the password, you might not be able to keep that back in your mind. So then the next thing, it obviously remove the old stereo. Again, just re-emphasizing that you need to disconnect your negative terminal, otherwise you're very likely to blow a fuse. And it can be any fuse. It can be quite hard as well to figure out what fuse it is, and the car won't even start sometimes because the fuse is blown. So just make sure to disconnect it. Once you disconnected it, chuck in your CarPlay, see if it works. And then if it works, all good. The other thing is, if you already have a reverse camera, there might be an adapter that you can buy online that can connect your old reverse camera to the new system, because the plugs otherwise won't match. Look into that before you order your CarPlay. I got mine from AliExpress. These things are actually pretty sweet and pretty cheap as well. But if your car already has a reverse camera, definitely see if you can get an adapter for the old plug into your new CarPlay Android thing. Because if you don't want to chuck in a reverse camera, that will save you a lot of time. I haven't tried it myself, but I don't know, it might work. I decided to get rid of the old one and chuck in the new one, and man, this thing was a mission. I guess the main thing here is basically what I did is I haven't put everything in back together, but the old reverse camera was in there, and I essentially popped that out. I've just kept this there hovering, um, and so I'm gonna plug everything neatly and show you guys what it looks like at the end. But basically, you've got the one cable, like from here up to the camera, that's one cable, and then you have this cable, which is the one that's going to connect through there, down into there, same as this one actually, but I'll get to that one in a sec. But the cables go through here, down there, and you got to pull this rubber thing out, and it goes through there and there. This bit, putting the wire through here, you need some sort of rigid rod or something to do that. So I was fortunate enough that I've got random stuff around my garage that I had like a bendable sort of rod that I could put it through and take it out. But if you don't have that, you're never going to be able to do this. So please get yourself a rod of some sort. Also, putting it through here is an absolute bitch because this thing is really small. I'd suggest putting the big one through. So basically, this guy here, I put this through the other way around. So it went from in here. So to get to that place from the inside of the car, you got to pull this down a bit, and there's a hole in there. Again, you need a rod for this, and you rod it in, fish it out there, and push it through here. It's going to take actually a lot of wiggling and pushing and stuff. But essentially, that yellow one that is going to connect to your stereo, rod it through there, in there, take it out there, and then rod it through here as well. But make sure you do that one first, because as you can see, the head of this is quite big, and this is really small. So you need the most space you can to put that through. Once you've done that, you're going to need a bit of extra wire. So you can see here, this white wire. I have soldered this wire onto this one. So this cable here is basically the one that's going to connect to your reverse light, which is here. The reverse camera, the reverse light is the bottom one in this. Let's see if I can take this out. That's right, but it's the bottom one, and the reverse camera is there. I use a crimping splice tool. I'll show you guys in a sec. This is really handy to connect. Actually, a lot of things I only just figured out how to use this recently, but I use this to connect it to the reverse light. Anyway, so yeah, this white cable, I've actually cable tied them here. As you can see, all of these, that's me there, the extra wire. So that's extra wire, which ultimately ends up connecting to the red here, extra wire. This red guy here, you need to connect with this red guy. So this gets connected together, and essentially this red one goes to your reverse light. So I'm not going to show you all of it, but this is the wiring setup. Yeah. So this red connects with that red. That red somehow needs to get to your reverse light, and you need to crimp them or join them together with the red of the reverse light. This black one is your grounding cable, so you can actually cut that, and I've actually cut that already. You can see this is the end of the, I've snipped it off, and I've grounded it over there, because you can ground that anywhere, so you don't need to connect both of them up. You just need to make sure this red one's connected to the reverse. Okay, so once you've done that, then you need to figure out your path. And so for me, because I've done this to another car, I chose this path, but I think you can also go up to the top there. I'm not too sure, but I don't know. The path you choose is up to you, and I'm not even trying to be deep, but you gotta figure out how to get it from here. And then the way I've done it, like you can see, is I've kind of cable tied it in those places, and then through there, and then under the carpet in the front seat, and then back there, and then up through there, and then to the back of the stereo. Getting it from this area to the back is also a bit of a mission. Again, you need a rod. Here's the rod I used. This was actually a part of a door I took apart to fix. So this thing is really handy. It's like just right to bend in the right way, but not give out as well. So you need a rod of some sort. Okay, so this is what it looks like when it's all done. There is a hole there where the old camera used to be. I don't know if that's going to end up being a problem, but we'll find out. This is what it ended up looking like. So the camera is actually really good. And yeah, if you ever wanted to upgrade it, it's also going to be really easy as well. Cool.